is up, guys? Maxmov here. Welcome to episode 2 of Wood River Basin. It is my Idaho-based build. Kind of a little bit of high desert, a little bit of forest. It's a pretty fun series. I'm enjoying it so far. Anyway, today we are working on two main goals: the power plant and the water treatment facility, at least the first of each, because we need to get the city going and we need electricity and we need water first. So first up, we are working on the power plant, and I did a little research into the Boise area, and I didn't really see a whole lot on the power plant. I know that in Idaho we get a lot of our electricity from dams, hydroelectric stuff, as well as a little bit of nuclear. And so seeing a traditional power plant like this may not be the most realistic, but I think it works right now, and as I said before, I'm not going 100% a copy of the Boise area. I'm just going for based off and inspired by. So that's what we're doing, why we're doing it. I also realized as I was building this, by the way, in episode 1 we go over the road structure and the road layout for a lot of the stuff that we're building currently. So if you want to see the road planning and the road layout, definitely go check out episode 1. Anyway, though, it looked fairly flat as I was building it, but I quickly found out as I was working on the roads of the parking lots here, or the buildings in the parking lots, that it wasn't as flat as I thought. There is a lot of terrain elevation, and that definitely is going to complicate things, to say the least, because we're gonna have to worry about stuff like this. But we're just working on a parking lot now, and then I'm adding loading docks because I'd assume they need some sort of bulk product in, at least for maintenance or anything. Plus, it's a little bit of detail that really makes that side pop. And I'm just putting in a box van there. Adding in another dock on this side, because where I put that lane, it really looks like a loading zone up there. And honestly, when it comes to detailing, a lot of times you can just kind of just put in random things and it'll look good, because as long as it's some sort of filler, putting in a little peat there with the flatbed, I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, so the elevation really was messing with me as I'm building this. And I still haven't found a way that works perfectly, but, you know, we're getting there. Putting in some handicap spots because you legally need handicap spots in a parking lot. There's some law about that. Also, just had some weird stuff with some of the textures. As I said, the terrain is really making this interesting, so when I build later, figuring out how I'm going to terrace it or something, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. I just wanted to put that loading decal there. Also want to take away the crossings because it's not technically supposed to be a different road, because, you know, the way it works, the parking lot isn't technically a different road, but in the game it thinks it is. So just adding some poppable asphalt by Ronix in there, and then throwing in a dotted line, because I think it looks pretty good that way. But yeah, it's really coming along. Roads United, the North American version, is a lifesaver when it comes to making realistic stuff. I'm really a fan of it. And it's something that I didn't have in La Costa, but highly recommend it to anyone doing a North American city because it really just makes it pop. I had troubles with it before, but on the new build, and especially on Wood River Basin, it's going in. I'm really liking it. This lot here actually turned out really, really well. It's a side lot, kind of a little bit of scrap, just almost like wasted space, but I think it really makes this work and really makes it pop. I'm using a mix of dried grass and sort of a leafy green in there, because the vegetation in this area, at least where I'm thinking of, like where it would be, it's a little mix of a desert, but it's not super deserty. I mean, best described as high desert, you know. But I really, really think it looks good. So I'm definitely excited by that. And we're working on getting the lines going here. I might actually redo that part right there, and maybe have it just go diagonally across and build stuff around, as opposed to trying to cater the lines to a separate thing. Because they are snaking through. Normally it might be more realistic to have them go just straight through and have kind of the rest of the world work around them. But I'm putting in a high distance line here to go to the downtown, because we'll need power there soon. That's going to be one of the next projects. I want to get the city utilities going first, and then it'll be a project there. But now we are moving on to the other side of the city here downtown. I want to put a little bit of an access road here, because I put that little substation transformer thing, and so it would make sense that you'd have a way for we still don't have a name for the town, so I don't know what the electric company's name would be, but it would make sense that you'd need access to it. So I'm putting in a little bit of a road. And this map really is interesting in the sense that there's a lot of kind of sneaky elevation. There's some spots that look flat, but then it turns out to be way more sloped than you'd originally planned. And so tight corners don't really work too well. Also, you can see their traffic. Something happened to the interchange off camera. I was looking at it. And I did do some work off camera as well. I'll kind of go over what some of those changes were. But something happened with the interchange, and traffic didn't want to use the direct lane to go. It was like the north to east connector. They didn't want to take that, so they'd take the westbound connector all the way into downtown and then make a U-turn on that street to then turn around and go eastbound. I don't understand it. I don't think anyone will ever understand it. City Skylines just doesn't make sense in terms of traffic sometimes, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, now we're working on the water side of things. And if you're wondering why I'm looking at office buildings, I want there to be some sort of corporate headquarters. I actually did change that building. I think it was a little too high, so off camera I switched things up. You'll see what I ended up using in the cinematics, though. I think it looks really cool. I'm trying to figure out the parking lot way, because there's going to be the offices, and then next to it is going to be a little warehouse shop, and then we're going to have some water clarifiers. I still haven't found a way to get pumping right there, so we kind of hid the pumps away. They're off at the edge of the map. We might need to add more, but we will definitely see. So as I said, I did change the buildings up. I think it looked just a little bit too tall, especially because this is right near where the airport is going to be. And I guess I can talk about the airport as a little bit of a teaser for now. There will be an airport in this map, however, I will not be building it. We're still sorting out the details, but my good buddy Officer Lee, who knows way more about airports than I do, he is very well versed in sort of the processes and the design of airports. He knows way more than I do about that stuff. So he is actually going to be taking over this series probably in a month, little under a month from now, I believe. He's going to be taking over the series for a couple episodes to build the airport infrastructure. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully you guys are too, because I want the airport to look pretty good, and he's going to take care of that once we get to that point. I'm going to do a little bit more work, but then once we're already there, then he is going to start that. So right here, actually, I should probably talk about what I'm doing. As I said, the terrain was really messing me up, so I kind of went on a little spree and tried to make everything flat, but then I realized that it would be a good, probably 100 feet difference between the freeway and the roads, or the terrain there, and that just didn't look super legit. So what I ended up doing was making the terrain much more gentle, the slope a little more gentle, and then just what we'll have to do is, as we build, we'll add add our own systems there as we go and level things out, which isn't ideal. I mean, it would be nice if it was as simple as possible, but we can't have everything. I'm adding in some clarifiers there. The way I did this setup didn't really work. So as I said, off camera, I fixed everything, so it eventually worked. But I'm excited, definitely excited, because it's looking pretty good. Now, as I said, we put a little office there, because it makes sense that you're gonna have like support structure, you know, to accommodate the infrastructure of the water systems. So moving that in there. Parking lot roads saving the day for all sort of like utility asphalt. It seriously looks so good. I am very happy with it. Kind of putting a lane all the way around, and then again leveling the terrain out. But that's kind of all we're doing in today's episode. The next episode is going to be starting on the what is it, like the waste facilities, the dump, the landfill, whatever you want to call it. We're doing that up ways away, and that's going to be a little more realistic and a little more based off of what the Treasure Valley uses in Idaho. This, I kind of went on my own thing, so that's why there's no Google Earth or reference pictures or anything. In this episode, it was more of a fantasy build, but the next episode, episode 3, when we work on the landfill, that is going to be way more based off of Idaho. So again, I'm covering up the crosswalks. I don't know why I couldn't find that word. But just covering those up, making sure everything's looking really, really polished, and closing things together. Adding a little bit of detail because, you know, it is the industrial area, lots of heavy traffic, not just dense traffic, but the types of vehicles that are going through there are going to be pretty heavy. Now, we are getting towards the end of the video as I do a little detailing work, so if you did enjoy this, please be sure to drop a like on the video. Helps shows your support, and it does bring new people to the channel. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. Never miss out on any more of my content. I want to start live streaming this. Anyway, though, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or suggestions, drop them down below. I'd love to hear what you have going on. Anyway, as I said, my name is Maxmov. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm going to turn up the music, show you some cinematics, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys later.